Welcome to Nerdgasm. Today we're going to be doing a history video of the Future Flash from the New 52. This story is about a version of Barry Allen who was always too late to save the people he loved, and countless other people died because of it. This went on for 20 years. Failure after failure drove this version of Barry Allen to make desperate choices. And this is actually where our hero's story starts. Future Barry, 20 years from now, is crazed with the weight of all the people he couldn't save, the time that he wasted, and now he knew exactly where to go so that he could fix it. He could make everything right, get back all the time he missed, and save the lives of the people he had let down. He promises that he will never be late again. Before he runs off to start on his new mission to fix time, he stops at the grave of one of his greatest failures, Wally West. Wally West was the first person he couldn't save, and that death has haunted him all this time. At the grave, Iris shows up and tells the Future Flash that the night watchman is on her payroll, and he tells her when strange characters are hanging around the graveyard. It helps her to get the best scoops for the paper. Barry then reveals his identity to Iris and tells her that he's sorry for what happened to Wally. He even tells her that he can fix this and save him from dying. Iris tries to stop him from messing with time, and he doesn't even care because he doesn't plan to come back from this trip, and he races off. Even though Iris seems upset with him, there's a small part of her that's happy to know that things could be different. Future Barry makes a quick stop in the ruins of Gorilla City so that he could meet with Grodd. When he gets there, he sees Grodd dining on the brain of the 25th century's smartest man, Eobard Thawne. Grodd starts taunting the Flash and mocking him for wasting his speed on being a hero. He boasts how he's eating Thawne's brain and his intellect is now Grodd's. He even brags about eating Daniel West's brain so that Grodd could use his reverse Flash powers to travel back in time and collect a vast library of ancient knowledge. Having heard enough, the Flash attacks Grodd and tells him that he won't let Grodd tamper with the timeline anymore, and that this was going to be a fight to the death. Even with his speed, the Future Flash kept getting caught by Grodd. With both Grodd's enhanced intelligence and his speed, Grodd was a deadly force. Just when Grodd was about to eat the Future Flash's brain and add his powers and intelligence to his own, there was an explosion in the Speed Force that knocked them both back. The Future Flash tells Grodd that the Speed Force is damaged and time is bleeding out, while at the same time planting a tiny microbomb in Grodd's head. He knows that Grodd may be smart and fast, but his fingers are too fat to reach a bomb wedged in his ears. And with that, Grodd's head explodes. The Future Flash doesn't feel any remorse for killing Grodd, and instead says that if he can save time, that Grodd will never have had to die in the first place. And he says that the way to fix time is to run back and kill his younger self. The Future Flash goes back to the night of a major catastrophe at the Central City Museum. Mirror Master arrives to rob the upper class guests, and he traps them in his mirror dimension. Just as he's getting the cops to hand over their guns, Future Flash shows up and pushes the police chief into the mirror world. He starts running from mirror to mirror but can't seem to catch Mirror Master. But that was apparently all part of his plan. The police chief manages to get his gun back and aims it at Mirror Master's head. When he jumps to another mirror, the Future Flash races past him, steals his mirror gun, and breaks his arm. Future Flash has the police chief use the mirror gun to bring everyone back to the real world. And then he shows the Mirror Master a news headline of the robbery. Apparently an earthquake was going to hit the city and shatter the mirrors, killing 11 people. Future Flash races out of the mirror world to his next mission just as the earthquake hits Central City, shattering the mirrors and killing Mirror Master. Future Flash goes back further to visit a hospitalized Leonard Snart on the night he was going to die. Apparently the Flash had missed it the first time Snart died and wanted to be there for him this time. Future Flash starts confessing everything about the Speed Force being damaged and how he lost so much time. He tells Snart all about the people he lost and everyone who made matters worse by abusing their speed, like Grodd and Daniel West. He then reminisces about the time that Snart joined the Justice League and how much it bothered him. He even admits the truth about how he has to kill his younger self to save time itself. Just then, Snart starts to flatline, and Future Barry is there to hold his hand through the entire experience. Just before the doctor comes in to check on Snart, Future Flash races off past the doctor, and you can see that Snart died in peace by having his friend there with him. Next, the Flash arrives further in the past and kidnaps the Trickster right off the street in broad daylight. He runs up to the top of a building and dangles the Trickster off the side. Future Flash was trying to stop him before he pulled off a bank heist, but the Trickster used the money robots he was going to use to try and rob the bank to kill the Future Flash. The Trickster acts smug, thinking he pulled one over on the Flash. Obviously, the Future Flash can't keep the Trickster hanging and defend himself. But just then, the Future Flash drops the Trickster off the side of the building. Future Flash is able to destroy the money robots with no problem, but some of them fly down to save the Trickster. Future Flash runs down the side of the building and destroys the rest of the robots while looking the Trickster dead in the eyes and tells him that he's ready to die. but is the Trickster? As they're falling, the Trickster starts screaming that he doesn't want to die, and the Future Flash creates a wind funnel to slow them down and land safely. He shows the Trickster a headline from the next day, where the Trickster's robbery goes wrong and a bank vault falls and kills a family. The guilt was so heavy that the Trickster takes his own life by jumping off of the very building that the two of them were standing on. And before he leaves, he makes the Trickster promise that he will lead a better life. Future Flash keeps running back in time, trying to save all of the people he never made it to, when he eventually ends up in the time of one of his greatest failures. He looks to the street where he sees Daniel West, the Reverse Flash, and knows that this is his time to save Wally. He intercepts Daniel, who is tearing Central City apart, looking for that time's Flash. But Future Flash already knows that the Flash won't make it in time. Future Flash uses this opportunity to try and end Daniel before he can kill Wally and permanently cripple Iris. While they're fighting, Daniel notices this Flash is way stronger than the Flash he's used to fighting. Future Flash tells him that he isn't the Flash that Daniel knows, and that this Flash has tech in his suit from the future that makes him a better Flash. As they're fighting, they see Iris and Wally coming up, but the roads were completely destroyed by Daniel while he was running, and their car starts spinning out of control. Daniel tries to tell the Future Flash that he can save them, but instead the Future Flash tells him that he's the hero, that he's gonna save them, and he snaps Daniel's neck at super speed. Then Future Flash races towards the car and saves both Wally and Iris. Instead of being grateful for having their lives saved, they're terrified at what the Future Flash just did. He killed Daniel, he killed Wally's uncle, he killed Iris's brother. Iris tries to keep Wally away from this crazed Flash. Just then, the Flash of this time arrives and attacks the Future Flash, thinking that it's Daniel in a new costume. Future Flash takes off his mask and tries to explain that Wally was gonna die because of the problems with the Speed Force. The two Flashes end up breaking out into a fight, but when they get close to each other, there's a blast of energy that knocks them apart. Future Flash keeps trying to blast past this Flash so that he can make it back in time and complete his mission. But the Flash of this time decides to try and use that energy feedback to stop this crazed future version of himself. When the Flash grabs the future version of himself, the feedback begins to build up, and the energy explodes off of the both of them, causing lightning to hit Wally and seriously injure this time's Flash. Wally realizes that the lightning that just hit him gave him super speed, and he races over to the Flash. Before the Flash dies from his injury, he sees Wally with his super speed, and makes Wally promise to use his new powers to stop this crazed version of himself, and Wally promises that he'll make him pay for what he's done. We also find out that the blast sent the Future Flash back to the exact time he wanted to get to. He was now in the present, and his final mission was to hunt down and kill the Flash. Future Flash's computer tells him that this is the perfect time that he needs to be in so that he can fix the Speed Force with the lowest chance to damage time. Future Flash runs over to Barry's house and snatches him up while he's eating breakfast. He runs them both out to the Salt Flats, the exact place where Daniel West became the Reverse Flash. Future Flash tells Barry that the Speed Force was torn open that day, and reality has been bleeding out of this scar the entire time. By the time Future Flash learned this, it was too late, but he knew that he could fix it with a sacrifice, and Barry was going to be that sacrifice. The two of them start to fight, but the Future Flash easily outmatches Barry. This Flash knows fighting techniques from Lady Shiva, from Deathstroke, and from Batman. Not to mention that his suit is filled with tons of high-tech improvements. Still, the present Flash tries to fight back and stop this crazed Future Flash, but he's just too outmatched. The Future Flash finishes beating on the Flash and goes to throw him into the Speed Force tear, but at the last minute, another speedster joins the fight and saves the Flash. It's the future version of Wally West. The two of them fight it out, and this future version of Wally has spent years mastering his speed so that he could compete with the Future Flash. Just as the Future Flash goes to end the Flash's life, Wally throws himself in front of the attack and begins absorbing the Speed Force energy radiating off of the Flash. Future Wally tells the Flash that he learned how to be a hero from him, and that he shouldn't give up on his Wally. His Wally needs him. This future version of Wally explodes from the buildup of energy, and the only one left standing is the Future Flash. Wally died saving the Flash, but now the Flash was stuck inside of the Speed Force. Future Flash notices that his body feels surprisingly better. His computer tells him that his entire body has been healed and is pretty much that of a younger man. When he looks at his own reflection, he sees that the Speed Force corrected the lack of a Barry Allen in this time and pretty much changed the Future Flash to take his place. With a smile on his face, he runs back to the present Barry's home and passionately kisses Patty Spivot. She comments on the new suit, but doesn't have time because they need to hurry up and get to work, so she tells this version of Barry to hurry up and get changed or they're going to be late. Later that night, Future Barry and Patty fall asleep watching romance movies, and he takes this time while Patty's sleeping to find a criminal that he failed to stop in the past. This guy Kyle was a pretty smart guy who created a virus to search for college students that he would murder. Kyle tries to stop the Flash with a gun, but obviously the Future Flash was way too fast for a bullet. Future Flash tells him that now he has a second chance to stop every single criminal that got away, starting with Kyle. And he phases his hand through Kyle's chest, shredding his heart, saying to himself, "One down, so many more to go." A few days later, Future Barry is examining a large pile of bodies from various incidents with Patty's help. The first body he sees is the work of Deathstorm, of the crime syndicate. Another one is the result of the villain Typhoon, one killed at the hands of the Hyena. But one of the deceased sticks out to this Barry. John Doe 63, showing signs of electrical scarring from that of a small electronic explosive. Right away he knows who did this. Another villain that he failed to stop in his past, Overload. Unfortunately, he's interrupted by Iris, who's also interrupted by an alert that Mirror Master's robbing a bank with a new rogue, Napalm. Future Flash runs to the bank, and as soon as he arrives, he begins to taunt Mirror Master about his new protege. Mick Rory may have been a hothead, but at least he knew not to burn the money. While the two are exchanging words, Napalm steps in and says that he'll go down as the guy who will roast the Flash. But this guy has no control, and he almost hits the people inside of the bank, and Mirror Master has to step in to save them. Now, the rogues may rob people, but they don't kill. Mirror Master tries to make a getaway and tells Napalm that it's over, it's done, and Mirror Master is able to escape into his mirror world. And when he tries to pull in Napalm, Future Flash shoots a dart from his suit at the mirror, causing it to shatter and cut off Napalm's arm. Everyone is terrified because the Flash has never acted so violently before. He was even about to kill Napalm with a shard of the mirror, but Iris showed up in time and stopped him from doing something terrible in front of all these citizens. The Future Flash then hands the bleeding Napalm to the police and runs off. Later on, the Future Flash is trying to find any evidence he can that will help him locate Overload before he commits mass murder. He races to the location where the bodies were found, and he sees Overload there about to snap. Future Flash assaults Overload before he can even react. He beats on the guy and screams at Overload about how in his time, the Future Flash wasn't able to stop Overload, and Overload got away because every electronic device was disabled, so there was no evidence tying him to the murders. They couldn't prove that it was him that killed 207 people. He was ready to murder Overload so that this never happened, but Patty and Iris showed up to try and stop him. Patty tries her best to stop this Future Flash, but fails, and when he goes to punch Overload at super speed, he accidentally flings her overhead, dislocating her shoulder. While he was checking on Patty, the new Wi-Fi grid goes up, and this causes Overload to start powering himself up. Apparently, the more electronic signals in the area, the stronger Overload becomes. The downside is that the signals actually cause Overload immense pain. Overload begins his rampage and completely overpowers the Future Flash. The fight between them seems to start to lean towards the Future Flash's advantage, but then Overload hears the buzz of electricity coming from his suit. Then before the Future Flash can even react, Overload blows off the Future Flash's hand. When Patty goes to check on him, the Future Flash comes clean about everything he did, and he tells her that he's not even her Flash. Future Flash comes up with a plan to stop Overload by disrupting the signals that are powering him. But before he races off, the suit grows a new electronic arm. He races across Central City and uses everyone's cell phone at the same time to disrupt the signal and stop Overload's powers. With Overload finally free from the pain and the signals, he's overjoyed, and he's incredibly surprised that the Future Flash didn't kill him. With everything that's happened, this version of the Flash has finally become a changed man. He says that he's not going to kill anymore, that he's done with that part of his life. With everything finally calmed down, Patty explodes on the Future Flash and tells him that she hates him for getting rid of her Barry. Out of nowhere, a Speed Force rift opens up, and the Flash comes racing out of it, much to everyone's surprise. The Flash starts yelling at his future self about the damage done to the city. But before the conversation can even continue, another speedster races out of this Speed Force tear. His name is Selkirk, and he was able to give himself Speed Force powers by using the Flash as a conduit while they were trapped in the Speed Force. The two Flashes work together to try and stop him, but Selkirk seems to have learned how to use his powers at an incredibly fast pace. He even shows that he's not able to just act fast, he's also able to think fast. The two Flashes try to take the battle out of the city, and when they're far enough, Future Flash blasts the Flash back with some kind of energy. The Future Flash uses the built-up Speed Force energy of there being two Flashes in the same time so close to each other. to blast Selkirk extremely far away, shattering his spine in the process. Unfortunately, this blast also causes the Future Flash to start to fade away. The Future Flash apologizes to Flash for everything he did. With his dying breath, he tells Barry to remember one name: Thawne. And just like that, the Future Flash is dead, gone, erased from this time, and Barry is returned to his place as the true Flash of Central City. This run really shows the lengths that a hero can be pushed to when they experience so much pain, so much loss, so much failure. But even after everything he did, this Future Flash was able to try and redeem himself as a hero one last time. Of course, it doesn't make up for everything he did. It doesn't make right all the murders that he committed. But at least deep down, we know that this version of the Flash still had some good left in him. And he even leaves the Flash with an important tip on the man who ruined his life, Eobard Thawne. Let me know what you guys thought about the Future Flash. What characters would you guys like to see in the future for one of these videos? And as a special treat, here is a glimpse at the next video we're going to be doing next week. And just for the laughs, I'm going to show you guys the video that's going to be coming tomorrow afternoon. I really like Venom. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new, hit that subscribe button to keep up with the other history videos, origin videos, awesome comic book videos we're going to be doing here. And thank you guys for being so supportive. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.